I just got done doing an oil change on a customer's old Ford Explorer, and it's a bit of a rant against some of the quick change oil places. I'm sure they don't all do this, but I always notice this is when it happens. But you know, oil filter looks pretty normal, whatever. Here's the oil filter that I put on it. I have a master pack, so I got a bunch of these, and you know, the height is the same, you know, and it screws on, same thread, diameter of the gasket. But look at the profile, look how much wider, how much fatter the body is of this filter. Now this filter, this is the Wix Master Pack. It's the part number 1372 type filter that Ford's used since Christ was small. This is pretty cheap, very, very cheap. And still to have something like this kind of irks me, because in a situation, you know, even though this filter is rated for 10,000 miles, and I changed the oil at 5,000 miles to play it safe, because it's really hard to gauge how much the oil is degrading and how much debris gets in it when you have 30,000 miles, 80,000 miles, 180,000 miles. It's hard to know, and you'll never know, because inside of these filters, the very bottom, are these bypass valves. If the filter plugged up well enough to prevent oil from flowing, the oil pressure is going to overcome that spring in there and allow oil to flow through, because oil flowing through an engine is better than no oil flowing, simply for the sake of filtering. Okay, simple as that. So, you know, why we got to pinch pennies so bad, and that's what irks me, is some of these quick change oil places are so driven by razor thin margins and volume that they would, you know, choose this over this if possible. And one other random side note, you know, if any of you happen to know who the Ford engineer was back in the day that seemed to have some sort of fetish for using the studs to put everything on, valve covers, timing covers, all that stuff, you tell him I'd like to have a chat with him. You know, I was only doing a serpentine belt and tensioners and pulleys. It wasn't even that bad. And you might think, John, just wear some long sleeves. Well, if my arms are getting marred up, you know, by that, what do you think it's going to do if I try wearing a long sleeve? So, you know, I don't know what the deal is with Ford and those mounting studs. You know, if you know, you know. It's a pain in the butt. I'm sure it has its advantages, but by golly, geez Louise, do something different. So anyway, ran to the day. I got to go have some lunch. I think my blood sugar is getting low. Later.